Everyone is obligated to learn Torah. Some people, they are busy all day, rightfully, because it says 6 days a week after work, but at least a Perek Echad Shachris, one chapter of learning in the morning, one chapter at night. There has to be some learning in a person's life. Has to go through Havana Vasaga. Mitzvahs, on the other hand, is nullification. You don't need no hasaga in the mitzvahs. You don't need understanding when you do a mitzvah. You don't wait until you understand to do a mitzvah. A mitzvah we do whether we understand or not. That is a mitzvah. And that's the way it is. That means you don't go before a king and start asking him, how do I do this mitzvah? That mitzvah was supposed to be learned before you walk up to the king. So mitzvahs are bittul. And you're not a mitzius before the king. Nullification before the king. You do what he says. And that is a mitzvah. And then there's also a mitzvah of learning Torah. Vishinantam levanecha v'dibarta bam b'shivtecha b'veisecha. You should teach your children. V'dibarta bam, and speak with it. With Torah. So with that mitzvah, it's total bittul. The learning Torah. Like it says, you have to make a bracha before you learn Torah. It's HaKadosh Baruch Hu's Torah. You have to realize who the Noisna Torah is. And that has to be done with bittul nullification. And that's the idea of Noach twice. That means someone that says he only has Torah, he is worthless, because it has to come down into action too. There has to be that bittul, that he knows that there's a God in the world that told him to put on tefillin, to learn Torah, to give tzedakah. And you cannot be, and every person is mechuyev, so you cannot stay with only action, you have to learn Torah too. And that's what Hashem told Hashem, Boy el teva, go to the teva. What is the teva? Torah and tefillah. You have to have those two aspects together with maisim tovim, which that is the tzoyar. It brightens up your actions. And now we can understand why it says Noach in the beginning, before even he passed the Mabul with all his accomplishments of building a teva and everything else. And learning Torah. Because he knew which animals are kosher or not. So, and why is it? Because the ultimate pleasure of mitzvahs will be when Mashiach comes. And it might come with hardships and everything else. But the mitzvahs, the tainug of mitzvahs only come when Mashiach comes. But when you do mitzvahs with tainug, you have a taste of the coming of Mashiach. When you know that towards the end, God will have pleasure. So even if there's hardships in Torah mitzvahs, it's hard for you to do it, you'll still do it with pleasure. And that's why it says Noach, Noach before he did anything, or in the beginning of his service, because he did everything with pleasure. And he had a taste of that time. Now, what kind of hardship should a person have nowadays? Because not every mitzvah is a hardship. Not every mitzvah is a hardship. The hardship is because we don't see God. Concealed. We could be in the palace of the king. We still don't see God. But doing Torah and mitzvahs with pleasure, knowing that the pleasure will come when Mashiach comes. So Be'ez Hashem, just like it says, Baruch Hashem minchas Yudah kimei oilam chshanim kamaynis like kimei Noach. Noach was a time of pleasure. So Be'ez Hashem will come to the time of Mashiach, when the world will be filled with the knowledge of Torah. Kamayim layam achasim, like the waters cover over the sea. And Be'ez Hashem, we will go in a way of menucha v'syashvus, peacefully and restfully. We'll go towards the isgalus of the revelation of Mashiach. Not like it was in the time of Mitzrayim, you had to run away from Mitzrayim. We will go b'menucha, and Be'ez Hashem will be empty right now. Long live our master, teacher, Rebbe King Mashiach forever and ever. Long live our master, teacher, Rebbe King Mashiach forever and ever. Long live our master, teacher, and Rebbe King Mashiach forever and ever.